Good afternoon and happy Sabbath, Covenant Advent Church. Good afternoon and happy Sabbath to those of you who've joined back online. Welcome back to our evening health seminar. And I pray that you will receive information this evening that will help to make you healthy and strong for the Lord, both mentally and physically and spiritually. We'll start with hymn number 34. Please turn your hymnals to hymn number 3-4 as we sing Wake the Song. Hymn number 3-4. Wake the song of joy and gladness, hither bring your noblest lays, banish every thought of sadness, pouring forth your highest praise. Sing to him whose care has brought us once again with friends to meet, and whose loving voice has taught us of the way to Jesus' feet. Wake the song, the song of joy and gladness. Wake the song, the song of jubilee. Joyfully with songs and banners we will greet the festal day. Shout aloud our glad hosannas and our grateful homage pay. We will chant our Savior's glory while our thoughts we raise above, telling still the old story, precious theme, redeeming love. Wake the song, the song of joy and gladness. Wake the song, the song of jubilee. Thanks to thee, O Holy Father, for the mercies of the year. May each heart as here we gather swell with gratitude sincere. Thanks to thee, O loving Savior, for redemption through thy blood. Breathe upon us, Holy Spirit, sweetly draw us near to God. Wake the song, the song of joy and gladness. Wake the song, the song of jubilee. Amen. I'll now turn the program over to Pastor Lloyd Grubb.
Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to our even presentation where we'll be talking about energy. I'll be taking some of the information here presented and I'll share with you how to improve your energy, some things right off the cuff and some things from our mind. So welcome again. Hopefully your Sabbath has been going blessed and you've been sanctified both mind and in your hearts and soul and your whole body. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, I thank you for the blessings of today, for the blessings, dear Lord, of knowing thee. Pray that you may be with us, dear Father, as we partake of this information. And truly may we have the zeal, the energy, the strength, the force of mind and power to be able to do the things that we need to do from day to day and be effective for thy glory, honor, and for thy name. This is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. So we're looking again at energy. Energy is what we're looking at here, and we want to increase our energy levels naturally without using stimulants. And so how to increase your energy level naturally without using stimulants. In Judges chapter 12 verse 2 through 4, Judges chapter 12, verse 2 to 4. It says, "And there was a certain man of Zorah of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold now, thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing." So this is a famous story of Samson. Like so many stories in the Bible, we tend to kind of skip over and focus on the part that he's the strongest man counted in history, and he is of magnificent strength, and we normally focus on the fact that he is strong because the Lord blessed him, the Spirit of the Lord will come upon him, and we tend to kind of look at the miraculous things in the Bible, but forget that there's a process to it. That one of the things is when he was a child, the mother could not drink or should not drink wine or anything strong, because it would damage the child. And today we know by the sad experience that we see in society so much, that so many children are weakened because of the drugs and alcohol in the mother when she was having a child. And so we don't want to be in that position. We want to understand that when a mother is having a child, that it is very incumbent on them to preserve the strength of the child. So here this strength was preserved. And so if you want to be strong, if you want to have a lot of energy, you want to be able to stay away from anything that's going to damage the health of the body, going to damage the mind. And so this is one of the actual solution, literally, is to stay away from. If you want to have good energy, stay away from strong drink. It might make you get rage, but there's a down, and you don't want to get down. You want to be able to have baseline good energy all the time. Now, text to encourage your soul from the word is in Isaiah chapter 28, verse 7. It says, "But they also have erred through wine and through strong drink, are out of the way. The priests and the prophets have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision and they stumble in judgment." So drugs and alcohol, what it does, it weakens the system. And so normally we talk about energy. Most of the time we're talking about using some type of stimulant to get the energy going. But the other way to get the energy going is through the things that we're going to talk about, the natural method. But notice it says here, they err through wine, through strong drink. They're swallowed up. You never see a person who partake of a lot of stimulants. Long term, they look beaten. Their youthfulness and their vibrancy become wasted at the altar of stimulants. So you don't want to use stimulants. So we want to know how to do this then. How are you going to naturally do it? So the objective here is to define what is food, why stimulant-free energy, why do a stimulant-free energy seminar, basic natural aids, how to have a mental state that affect your energy, and how to boost the amount of antioxidant you partake of so you can be at your best. So food energy food is what is food energy defined? So is contained within food is measured in calories. A typical daily diet consists of food from three major classes of foods, namely carbohydrate, protein, fats, and oils. Once in the body, these foods are used to build the body, and they are metabolized to provide energy or stored to produce energy for future use. Each food consumed has a potential amount of energy. It can provide carbohydrate, provide about 4 calories per gram, fats 9 calories per gram, protein 4 calories per gram. So if you notice there, fat provide most of your calories per gram. So if you want to lose weight, then one of the first things you want to do is decrease the amount of fat you partake of, and you'll be able to do this. So the body stores its energy in the simplest molecules derived from the consumed food. Carbohydrates are broken down into simple form of glucose. Glucose is released into the bloodstream, where it can be converted immediately to energy in cells, where it is needed through a multi-step process known as glycolysis. Extra glucose that isn't needed is converted to glycogen and stored in the liver and muscle cells. When blood glucose levels drop below the optimal level, as glucose is used up, the liver converts the glycogen back to glucose and release it into the bloodstream. So this is just a quick, simple way to explain what's going on there without any more crazy explanation about ATP and stuff like that. Excess fat is stored in the body cells until it's needed for energy. When the body requires more energy, it breaks down fat in the chemical process known as metabolism, as well as providing body with energy. Fat plays an important role in the regulation of blood temperature and the reduction of inflammation, blood clotting, and brain development. And so we continue. I'm just going to continue going through most things. I just want to get to the solutions, and I won't hold you forever here. Most vertebrate species devote about 2% to 8% of the basal metabolism to the brain. In primates, however, the fraction is much higher. In humans, it could be around 20 to 25%, and some people believe even more. In humans and many other species, the brain gets most of its energy from oxygen-dependent metabolism of glucose, or i.e. blood sugar. So one of the main way what we're talking about when we talk about dealing with energy, we want to make sure that the brain is being taken care of. And as the brain is getting the proper amount of energy, and then the rest of what's going on for metabolism and for usage is at the optimal level, you find that you have a good blend of what's happening. So I'm going to define stimulant, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the stimulant thing because I just want to talk to you for probably an hour or so, a little bit over an hour, on how to build your energy. So notice here, stimulants would be, I'm starting out with the negative. So the negative is normally people, when they talk about getting energy, they talk about getting energy from chocolate or tea or coffee or some of the heavy drugs, right? So stimulants, also referred to as psychostimulants, are psychoactive drugs which induce temporary improvement of either mental or physical function, or both, due to their effects typically having an up quality of them. Stimulants also occasionally refers to as uppers. So to feel energized is not just, is part of it is your body, your muscle. If your muscle feel tired, worn, you're gonna feel like you can't go. But even you can have that experience, but your brain is energized. So if your brain is energized and you feel like you don't feel tired, you don't feel sleepy, you can keep just going and going and going. So a lot of it has to do with what's happening in the mind, also in the brain, and you're thinking also, and also because you feel depressed, but you're not really tired. You start feeling like you want to yawn and feel tired. So when one takes certain foods, it can help that energized feel, that feeling of you feel awake, you feel attentive, and so forth. But one of the way to do it is to stimulate yourself with some type of drugs, which is normally drugs that are uppers, like cocaine and stuff like that. And what it will do is make you feel energized. If you feel energized, then you feel like you can go through your day and not drag yourself through the day. You can do the tasks you need to do, you can do the exercise you need to do, and don't feel just mentally just beat and whipped, and also physical, because some of it is physical. So here it goes. Stimulants, analeptics, produce a variety of different kinds of effects, some enhancing the activity of the central and peripheral nervous system. Common effects which vary depends on the substance in question, may include enhanced alertness. So that means you're just aware of your surrounding, aware of what's going on. Enhanced alertness, awareness, wakefulness, and also endurance, so you can keep going, productivity, and motivation. So before we keep going, so if you have this type of feeling inside of you, you want to have, and this is what you want to feel anyhow, you want to always feel alert, awake, you want to feel like you're engaged. This is basically optimal. Motivation, increased arousal, locomotion, heart rate and blood pressure, and the perception of a diminished requirement for food and sleep. Many stimulants are also capable of improving mood, relieving anxiety. Some can induce feeling of euphoria, like a high. It should be noted, however, that many of these drugs are also capable of causing anxiety, heart failure. Even the ones that may paradoxically reduce it to a degree at the same time. So you can be feeling both effects. So every solution we're given, and I'm gonna give about probably two or three examples here of a stimulant. Every solution we're given it in the sense of a substitute, because most people who are needing extra energy will use some type of stimulant. They'll use coffee, as I say, something. So that's the reality that we're dealing with. Because if you're watching a seminar and you probably not into being energized, it might not mean much to you. But if you need your energy because you work a lot of shifts, you work a lot of long shifts, if you need jobs that you have to be awake, aware, stuff like that, almost all jobs, well, some people just don't care. They don't really go into work. They don't kill it. Well, this probably don't mean much to you. But if you have to keep going, then sometimes what somebody do is do some stimulants to keep themselves going, if that makes sense. So here's some things that affect you is theobromine is a bitter alkaloid in cacao plant. It is found in chocolate as well as a number of other foods, including leaves of tea plants. So that's why people use tea or guarana berry. Always see this acai berry mix, a frozen acai berry mix, but they mix guarana berry also. So I always want to buy it, but I don't buy it because of that. Anyhow, herba mate, I think that's what it is, and then cola, which is from the cola nut, not anything else. So these things normally have theobromide, and as with caffeine, theobromide can cause sleepiness, tremors, restlessness, anxiety, because you're on edge, as well as contributes to increased production of urine. Additionally, side effects include loss of appetite, nausea, and vomiting. So theobromide itself is a stimulant. It's a psychostimulant. It stimulates the brain. And so many people use this word over tea, something to get them going in the morning. Another famous one here, and I'll do probably one after this, is caffeine. Caffeine, again, is a mild stimulant compound that is found naturally in coffee, tea again, and lesser degree in cocoa or cocoa and chocolate. It is included in many soft drinks as well as a large amount in energy drinks. So we're talking about the various different energy drinks, these little coffee shot. It's a high potency, small amount of energy shot. So many people, that's where they find the energy from. Other than that, they drag themselves through the day. So this is why I want to give some solutions for that. Caffeine is the world's most widely used psychoactive drugs and by far the most common stimulants. All company makes them name. You know, they have things that you see at night and it's box. And notice it says the vast majority of 85% of people in the United States consume caffeine on a daily basis. So large consumption, big money here. Caffeine is found in varying quantities in the seed, leaves, and fruit of some plants, where it acts as a natural pesticide that paralyzes and kills certain insects feeding on the plant. Caffeine acts as a central nervous system stimulant, temporary warding off drowsiness, and restoring alertness. So you need to go to your day and it's midday, and you have 4 more hours of work to do. Somebody get a cup of coffee and it'll get them going so they can make it through the rest of the day. So that's the whole idea there behind coffee. So notice here, caffeine is what somebody would do to get their energy level going. All right, but caffeine here in itself is a natural pesticide. So it's great for killing pests. They've used it in various different places to kill pests naturally. So that's what caffeine does. So it stimulates the central nervous system and it will temporarily ward off drowsiness and restoring alertness. But remember, it is still something that will poison slowly. And that's important to note. That's why we look at these things, because we're looking simply for solutions in nature. So caffeine is toxic at significantly high dosage, which can result in death. About 150 to 200 milligrams per kilogram of body mass, or roughly 80 to 100 cups of coffee for an average adult. In moderate dosage, it may reduce symptoms of depression and lower suicide risk. High dosage may trigger anxiety and rarely mania and psychosis. So you can feel like you're going mad, right? Going crazy. just by if you have high dosage of coffee. So you could see why we would want to not partake of this. We want to find natural solution, which is why you're here today, right? You're probably here because it's Sabbath, but I'm choosing for this to be the information that you're here today for. So caffeine is toxic at significant high dosage. So what somebody was saying now is, I'm just taking a smaller dose and it gives me what I need, and it's not gonna stimulate my body and kill me because I'm just using low dosage and I'm using long term. Well, have you noticed that many people, almost anybody that drinks a lot of caffeine, I always say this, I can always predict a person that's going to die from pancreatic cancer in their 40s and 50s if they consume high dosage of coffee, right? It is going to kill you. And the high doses, the easier it is to kill you. And then the other thing that's important to know about high dosages of coffee, or coffee, is how it beats the body down long term. Because remember, it is poisonous to the system and it's poisonous to the nervous system. So in high dosage, it messes up your brain and it messes up your central nervous system. In low dosage, it stimulates it. But long-term use, it damages the system. And if you notice, people use a lot of coffee and coffee constantly, they age faster than the average person. So it's important for you to think that. So long-term, it's going to mess up your energy level, your mental state, because as I said, at high dosage, it will mess up your mind. At low dosage, it'll mess it up over long periods of time. And it ages the body and make the person goes older faster. So that's why you always think coffee and alcohol, to me, synonymous with rapid aging, because it's just you're taking in poison all day long. With repetitive use, physical dependency or addiction are likely to occur. Also, the stimulatory effects of caffeine are substantially reduced over time. A phenomenon known as tolerance. Tolerance develops quickly to some, but not all, effects of caffeine, especially among heavy coffee and energy drink consumers. Some coffee drinkers develop tolerance to its sleep disruptive effect, but others apparently do not. Withdrawal symptoms include headache, irritability, inability to concentrate, drowsiness, insomnia, and pain in the stomach, upper body, and joints may appear within 12 to 24 hours after discontinuation of caffeine intake, peak at roughly 48 hours, and usually last for about 1 to 5 days. So this is something, it's a drug, but it's to come off it is not as bad as other drugs. When I was young, I knew a young man that would drink a lot of Coca-Cola or Pepsi. I can't remember which one. And it was a friend of mine, and if he didn't have coffee, if he didn't have this drink, either Coca-Cola or Pepsi, within about 12 hours to 48 hours, you start having splitting headaches. You drink it and the headaches would go. Very fascinating stuff here. So this is why we don't want to be on something else. We want to find some natural solution. So real quickly here, these are some quick names for you to talk about other stimulants that people take for other reasons. I just put some of it here. So amphetamines, various different types. Methamphetamine would be something. People say when they take amphetamines, like meth, when they take meth, they will stay up all night. And if they're broke, they'll be like staying up at night. And so they'll figure out how to go break into people's house and rob them and stuff like that. Because they need something to buy the drugs. But it can make you stay up for days. Isn't that fascinating? Right, so I must say this there. Nothing I'm going to share with you here, from my understanding and experience, you could go and miss a sleep. You know, you can go like, you don't get no sleep tonight, you go all in next day, and so you're going to have to get sleep. It's nothing, I don't know if anything that can do it. I know some people do that, and I've tried it. It is, I'm just saying this to you. I'm having a conversation with you. You're just not here with me, but I'm having a conversation with you in my head. Because I know sometimes people ask some question, and some of the questions I try to answer so that you don't really have to ask any question, because I kind of know out of the questions. If you're on cocaine, you can see people when they're on cocaine, they're bouncing. Nothing I'm going to suggest to you here will get you bouncing. So just in case somebody's looking for something like that, that's no natural behavior. So hopefully you understand that. All right, meth. People take everything I'm gonna say to you. If you do it and you get sleep, you will look phenomenal. You feel phenomenal. You have so much energy in between sleep. So we're not trying to take people not to sleep, but this type of stuff here will get you a point where you don't even need to sleep, which is phenomenal. You'll be bouncing off the wall, but you're destroying your body. So we don't promote nothing that will make you bounce off the wall and destroy your body. There's just some things you can't replace. You just have to abstain from. So those are some of the stimulants there. Ecstasy is what I like to talk about. MDMA. Every time I love talking about it because look at this, right? So these are the most common effects for reported by users include. Because this gives you an idea that it's almost impossible to replace this type of stuff. This stuff is abnormal behavior. So a general and substantial alteration in consciousness. So we want to keep you conscious. We don't want to make you go like you start losing your mind or go into altered reality. A strong sense, this is what you do when people have most common effect when they take the drugs, right? A strong sense of inner peace and self-acceptance. Sometimes you don't need to have self-acceptance. You need to go repent and go change and get transformed. Anyhow, so I'm going to say. A diminished aggression, hostility, and joy and jealousy. So somebody take it in that's jealous anymore. They talk about if there's a cure for sin. Diminished fear, anxiety, and insecurity, right? We have all the methods to deal with this naturally and spiritually. Extreme mood lift with accompanying euphoria, feeling of empathy and compassion and forgiveness towards others. So right now there's a lot of protests going on, so you can see probably some of these people are on ecstasy because they feel empathy for the suffering of others. Feeling of intimacy and evil love for others. So you didn't have to listen to this morning sermon. Improved self-confidence. The ability to discuss normally anxiety-provoking topics with a marked ease. So we can have any conversation right now, and you don't have to feel if you take ecstasy. Notice here an intensification of all the body senses. So you increase, remember I talk about to serve Jesus, you have to have an immersive experience. So your ears are involved, your taste, your audio, your talk, you sing, you feel. When you think about how Christ did the sanctuary system, it was an immersive experience. The smell, there's a scent that you come into the room, and everything was associated with worship. It was a very immersive experience. It's beautiful when you read it. You find the worship of God was originally built to be immersive. So imagine if you have now a drugs that will make you feel, right, everything more. So when you feel music, and they say the Grateful Dead music was written for LSD, which is, one of these drugs. So you can feel the music more. And it's the same thing. Imagine if you listen to me talk and you're on ecstasy, you don't just hear my presentation, you feel it. And hopefully what you feel is that I need to come off ecstasy. So this is what ecstasy does. So normally if you read this thing, all of us should volunteer to take ecstasy. That sounds very beautiful, right? If you can hear more, feel more, and experience everything more, church will be better. And that's why for years I've said that I believe sooner or later, and I said it before Supreme Court had passed certain rules, I said we will experience in this country and other places more drug use in worship in the Christian church. And I've been saying it for years, and it's increasing because this could make church worship better. This presentation would sound better if you could feel it more and hear it more. He over here, let him hear by taking some ecstasy. So notice here, these are the most common effects reported by users. Continue. Mild psychedelic consisting of a mental imagery and auditory. So we continue with what we're talking about here. Substantial enhancements of appreciation of music and the quality of the music, or music quality. So probably an orchestra would sound better. Everything will sound better. Even country western, rap music, everything goes is better, right? So go back to mild psychedelic consists of mental imagery and auditory and visual distortion. So you're getting all kind of vision and whatever, you become a prophet. Stimulation, arousal, and hyperactivity. So this is all to just increase your energy, but now you're increasing a whole lot of stuff. You have an uncontrolled urge to dance. So now we probably wouldn't do church with pews, we do church with an open floor. Increase energy and endurance. So you can go longer, you can be up longer, spend more hours awake. Increase alertness, awareness, wakefulness. Increase desire, drive, and motivation. Less pain, decrease pain sensitivity. So you look at all of those there for those 2 pages. And it's clear if you look at all of that, you could see why somebody would say, I don't need to do anything natural health-wise. And because all I need to do is take ecstasy. And you can see why people take it. And you can see why people who are bored and people who just want to try something. Or if you listen to that, if I did that reading a while ago, I could see somebody say, I don't listen to no more the seminar. I'm going to go get some ecstasy. I'm out of here, right? Because it seems very good. But that's why we have to have alternative, because the side effects is the problem with all these things. It's not that, as I say, if cocaine wouldn't come with side effects, we probably all would be taking cocaine. I'd probably be doing this presentation right now and do a line right in front of you, and you would probably say, Pastor, you need to pass around a plate with lines, and we all could do lines at church. And you probably would just be at home right now under quarantine doing lines of coke and ecstasy and all that. Because if it was all positive, no side effects. So here goes the side effects. Psychological side effects, all right? Which is some users want the effect of the MDA is worn off. So this is what happened. So they go in the high, now they come down now. So this is after church. Notice here, psychological effect. Anxiety and paranoia. So you start getting paranoid because what happened, you start to say that the government is following you. You start to say the government is flying Black Hawk helicopter above your house, 10 feet above your house, 10 feet above your house. It's just amazing stuff. You start to believe all kind of craziness, right? You start to believe that coronavirus is a hoax and the government try to kill you because you're over 65. And whatever else, you know, and the protest is not really going on. It's just some actors, crisis actors, breaking down place and burning down place. You start to go through depression. Start to feel irritability. Probably start all kind of stuff, and insects coming out of your flesh. You start to feel fatigued, tired. So you go from a high, we have more energy, more activities, you crash. So you want to be able to increase our energy without doing none of that and experience none of that madness. Impaired attention, focus, concentration, as well as drive and motivation due to the depleted serotonin levels. So instead of you increasing your serotonin levels and increasing your level by partaking of things like tofu and stuff like that, we covered in another seminar, you have it decrease, so you crash. Residual feelings of empathy, so you don't feel so empathetic for the people who are suffering anymore. You have in decrease, reduce. You have a residual, so reduce empathy and emotion and a sense of closeness to others, which is like an afterglow. Keep missing something there. Psychological, you have dizziness, lightheadedness, a vertigo, loss of appetite, gastrointestinal disturbance, such as diarrhea and constipation. So you have to go mess up people's toilet. Insomnia, aches and pain. So you can go from feeling less pain to feeling now more pain. Usually from excessive physical activity, for example, dancing, and I can't imagine the other activity. Remember, this drug is called ecstasy, right? So you probably do so much activity that you just like beat out and worn out. Exhaustion, jaw soreness from bruxia, which is you just grinding away your teeth. So before I go to some of the other stuff, so this here MDMA or ecstasy is a good example of the problem with using any type of stimulant. So we want to use some natural means and methods, because what it is that what comes with all the good, there's also a lot of bad that comes with it, and so we're trying to avoid all the bad. So it is, remember, some of these things were things that were supposed to be done to solve problems. So so this first year we're going to talk about with how to increase your energy is also, to me, how to balance things out and to maintain. Notice here, peace and contentment, how you want to be able to have a mental state that affect your energy. So first we start with the mind, because a lot of this has to do with where your head is at. So peace and contentment, to learn to have peace in your soul no matter what's happening, because you could just deal with certain things in society and in life, and it just drag you down and beat you up and just frazzle you out. You can deal with certain topics, and if you can't deal with them and have peace and contentment, sometimes you need to leave them alone. You know, on Sabbath, on Friday, I text Pastor Whiteman and I said to him, I think it was Pastor Whiteman I texted, and I said to him, I understand sometimes why the prophets would head to the mountains or the wilderness and just get a break from everybody. Because the people mad, the leaders are mad, and both of them, they're just like, had it all the time. And sometimes you just need to have some peace in your soul. So maybe you need to look at the trees, look at the squirrels running by, look at the bears. Just, go, put on a video of waterfall and just sit and watch the video of waterfall. It does amazing thing for your mind. Put on some background music that just probably have like a river brook running, and just lay there and just imagine a river brook until you fall asleep. Praise the Lord. You need to know how to have peace, because what it is that a lot of time when we need energy, we're being so overly stimulated that we already burning so much energy. So instead of our brain using 20% of what we need, our blood brings to it, we're probably using 25%. So now we're under pressure, probably for work, and we need to go now and probably run it heavy and go to 30% or whatever it is. And you already been so overstimulated that your body just can't go anymore. So my thing is, where it starts is that you have to have baseline or low time, and then you kick it up a notch. But if you're always at overstimulated, when it's time to get excited or to kick in that overdrive, you're already overstimulated because you're not rest properly. We're going to go through all that in a few minutes. You're not done all these things. So that would be the first thing. Because some people, they're always looking for excitement, they're always looking for something to do, something, so they don't have no downtime, and in their mindset is that's what they have, no downtime. So when it's time for energy, it's not there because they already burned. Does that make sense? So peace and contentment takes me to the place where I understand that you're having an even, and then we need to go up, you go up. But many times people want to be up all the time, like this. So that's why they need a Red Bull, they need something, because they have to go. And so there's nothing we can do for someone like that. It's just not, I don't know. What you need to do is bring them back down. And what they probably find out is that when they're up, they'll be able to easier go up and maintain it. And then, but they come back down. But if you need to be up for 3-4 days, just partying and have fun, I don't know if there's anything natural you can do for that, I guess. I don't know. I don't think so. So anyway, avoid stressful situation and people. So notice again, we're dialing you back. So before we send you forward and catapult you out into the moon or the Mars, and you can stay there, what we're going to do is we're going to bring you back to Earth and normalize you. We notice there's some people, they constantly and always stirring the pot. No, we take you down. So if you are a person that's stressful and you stress people out, then you need to dial yourself down. And then you're going to find some energy from that. I guarantee you'll start to feel yourself more energized when you need it. Avoid napping and sleeping throughout the day, right? So one of the things we need to do is, in order to get energy the next day, it's important not to nap or sleep in the middle of the day. So that by the time you go to bed, you can go to bed earlier and you can go to bed tired. So if you feel tired and it's, say, I don't know, Say it's what time now? Okay. So if you feel tired now, you take a nap now, it's not good. Because that means when it's time for you to go to bed, say 10 o'clock tonight or 11 o'clock, you're going to have so much energy that you need to go to bed later. If you go to bed later, you're going to sleep later in the day and you probably wake up tired. Your body's out of whack. So one of the things to do is just to avoid. In other words, you want to get a baseline where I sleep, I get tired, I sleep, I get tired. Because that's the process of life. Make large effort to refocus your thoughts and to pray. Because remember, it's in the mind, a lot of these things. I still have some natural things we're going to talk about, but I'm just saying. It's in the mind. Because none of us need energy all the time. We never need to a burst of energy. I know some people live like that. That's an extreme. But for normal people, you need a burst of energy when you need it. And so we're going to deal with that. But when you don't need it, what you need to do is have your downtime. Make sure you have a book reading. Hopefully everybody listening to me. You have a book reading. Not just the Bible. I'm talking about a book outside the Bible. Have a book reading. So you have a book reading. Don't tell me it's just, find something to read. So that means if you're not reading, find another book. Read the Bible for your devotions. Read it for your casual reading of the Bible. It's always good to keep reading the Bible. You always learn something new. But find something to, because what is it sometimes if you have to stop and read, it takes you away. And don't tell me you're reading a murder novel, something where people getting killed, you're frightening yourself, right? Everything that you don't always have to burn extra energy, all right? But also everything that you can find time where you have just normal time. So you're not always overstimulated. So make large effort to refocus the thoughts. This is one way you do it, and to pray. So they have to pray to God. And what prayer does, it takes your mind away from you and your trouble, and you go focus on somebody else's trouble and pray for somebody else's problem. And it helps us internally, right? Psalm 17 verse 22 say, a merry heart do a good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dried up the bones. So when you have happiness in your life, that's part of it. Because remember, when you laugh and you feel happy, don't you feel energized? You could be tired and you start laughing and you just feel good. If you see me start doing like that, you could think I'm either happy or I'm on drugs. But it's because, I'm happy. So when you feel like that, it don't dry up your bones and make you bring life to you, bring health and energy to you. Be or become integral, positive part in the life of others. I believe this is one of the ways to be energized, because sometimes you have to do something for others, you have to just get up and get going. But again, when we become too into ourselves, we get into trouble. So some more things here that's important to build our energy that I've found really work is get 8 hours of sleep by 10 p.m. the latest. You try to get into bed before. I find the earlier I get into bed, 9, 10, is the more energy I have the next day. I'm going to tell you what I do when I don't, but we want to stick with the principles here because they really work. So if you get 8 hours sleep and you sleep from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., you'll find yourself a better energy if you can do this consistently. Keep your body hydrated. So when your body is hydrated, it makes the blood flow better. When the blood flows better, you'll find that your energy will increase. Eat 2 to 3 meals a day, no snacking. If you snack on fruits. So you want to be able to not always over the body. You want to eat 5 hours apart. This is one of the most potent way. Years back when I was studying these things, this was one of the first principles I learned, and it increased my energy, and I was surprised. Because when you don't snack, your body gets to rest in between meals. And also it depends on the size of the meal. If you drink a soup, you'll find that it will digest faster and you'll go hungry quicker than if you eat a meal that say consists of protein. When I say protein, something dry protein, dry carb, dry, like a vegetable. Hopefully when I say dry, you understand what I mean, dry. Like some baked tofu, some brown rice, some vegetable, all that without fat, carb, protein, and vegetable. That would give you a meal that would probably take you about 5 hours before you need to eat your next meal. But if you drink a soup, for the most part, it could digest even 3 hours. It's amazing. So you could go hungry. So with that in mind, I'm still saying you're eating 2-3 meals a day, making the last meal be the lightest and the first meal be the heaviest. This is one of the biggest method, I believe, in increasing your energy. So next Sabbath we're going to do digestion. So I'm not going to talk about digestion here, or if anything I've on here, digestion, ignore it. So when the food go inside of you, next Sabbath we're talking about that. This will increase your energy, right? The makeup of the food, how the food is, how can it get out of your system fast enough, that will increase your energy. So what we ain't talking about, but the only thing I want to say there is this: if the food is made up right, it's not too much, it's not too little, it's not like soup or stuff like that digest too fast. There's not enough calories in there, so forth. But when you hit that like perfect blend, balance of there's the right amount of calorie and the right amount of nutrient, antioxidants, and your body is using the least amount of energy to extract the most amount of energy, but not too much. When you hit that equilibrium, what you'll find, your energy will increase. Why? Because it's not going to take you too much energy to burn, to extract and break down that meal, so that energy is being saved, is used now for the rest of your body to function. And then you don't have to, you're not using too much because the food is not too much volume. So it's going to be easier for your body to process it and extract the energy out of it and the nutrients and all out of it without expanding too much. That saving is saving you on your energy feeling. So that's where next week comes in, the digestion part. So Mr. George, we're going to talk about that with you next week. But this week here, I'm focusing on how to build that energy. But that's a major part of building that energy. That's a talk in itself. Because what we're talking about is optimal digestion. Because when we're eating food, a big part of what we're doing with food is we're extracting nutrients out and we're extracting energy out. But if it costs us too much energy to extract out, then we could fall asleep. We're tired. The food itself is tiring us out and it's making us that we don't have enough energy. But that can be caused because it's too much volume inside of us. So if we have too much volume inside of us, it's going to be war for the body to break that down, to pull the energy out. There's going to be war straight to the system because it's putrefying and it's doing all kind of stuff like that. And by the time it come out, it probably costs us something while toxifying our body. So it's hitting that equilibrium. And, each of us have to figure out what that equilibrium is for us, right? So one of the ways to get that equilibrium working right, which is big to me here, is to be able to, when you have the most energy, which is morning to midday, to heat the meal that's going to be heaviest. And as the day goes by, you're losing energy. It means body energy. You're feeling not as strong. If you're going more to sleep, you want to back off or cut off. That means if you can get in all your calories in 2 meals, it's better than if you can get it in 3 meals. If you can get what you need, then you can control better if you can go long without food. If you can't, then you do 3 meals, but the meal in the evening is light. It's going to come to you real fast. It's going to digest. You're going to be able to go to sleep with an empty stomach, fasting through the night, ready to get up the next morning to have food. So this is the optimum we're talking about. So if your body needed 2,000 calories, and you can eat 2 meals, 2,000 calories, great. If you can do 3 meals, 2 of them probably 800 calories and 1 400 calories, that'd be super. Because the 400-calorie meal will go back probably about 3 hours. And if you go exercise in the evening, that 400-calorie meal will probably go to your system within 3 hours, could even be 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Boom, you get to go to sleep. You go to sleep. When you wake up, you're going to get a better rested sleep. Also, because the system is going to flow to your system better, especially if you have the right amount of fiber and all that. We're going to talk about that, but I'm just putting it together for you here. If you have the right amount of fiber in your system, everything, it's going to flow to you faster. The faster and easier it flows to you is less energy it's being sucked to get it out of your system. So it's leaving more storage that will increase your energy. So hopefully you'll get that. So you want to be able to invert the way we normally eat. You eat heavy morning, heavy but lighter. So as I say, even if you could do 1,000 calories in the morning, then you do another 600 for lunch. And then you do another 400, or you do 700 for lunch, 300 for the evening. By the time you get to bed, your stomach is empty. You go to sleep, you get your 8 hours, you wake up back. What you're going to find, because the optimalness of the food is healthy, it's going to digest, so forth and so on. What you will find will simply happen is that you're not gonna feel all that buildup of bacteria and stuff or growth in your mouth, whatever that is. You're not gonna feel all of that going on. You're gonna feel more clean because you have less toxicity in your body. And what happens, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna have more energy. Now, I'm gonna still talk about what to do to get that energy going beyond all of this. And by doing this, what you find is that you're gonna have more energy to go through your day. So two things are gonna happen. Either you're gonna have longer days, that means you can go the whole day with consistent energy through the day, or you're gonna have it where when you need peak performance, you're gonna be there, and you're not gonna go hit lunch. And not because you go hit lunch, you're probably doing 1,000 calories or more for lunch, and by the time you finish lunch, you fall asleep because you're so exhausted, right? That's what you don't want to happen. So you want to start backing off the calories as the day go by. So you shouldn't be eating lunch and want to fall asleep, because what it is that you're pulling back, and you're making the body can attack it and break it down and extract the energy. And then now you don't use too much. That means if you can get to a point where you can probably use 50% of the energy you need to extract, so you know you have a 50% gain. That's where you want to be. So this is why you don't want to snack, because snack is like restarting a washing machine halfway through a cycle. So you don't want to do that to your body. You want to keep going through. Make your diet whole so you can have better flow. So when you have better flow, the easier things slide to your system, and the less pressure you have to release the waste from the food you eat, is the more energy you're going to feel. The more things stuck in your system and can't move through, is the more it's going to make you feel sluggish. So this is a lot of where we lose energy and where we're not as bouncy, right? Increase starch in vegetables like beets, corns, carrots, pumpkin, squash, and they're rich in vitamins and minerals. So you want to be able to increase things that's going to give you more vitamins and minerals. They're going to give you more antioxidants, and also they're going to flow through your system better. When you eat out of grains, what it does, it becomes sluggish in your system. So you want to be able to put more carrots, more corn, more green peas, am I saying that right? More string beans, more things like that in your diet. You know, if you're cooking soup, add some pumpkin to the soup. It will cook out, but then what it is give you all that antioxidants, all that vitamins and stuff, and it's going to flow through your system better. It's giving you maximum nutrients without consuming so much energy. That's why you want to eat like this. And remember, all this is talking about energy, but we're talking about also, this is similar to anti-aging. Notice here, increase your exposure to the sun, because the sun's going to give you vitamin D. If you have high levels of vitamin D, you have high levels of energy. And so vitamin D constant, levels in your body increase your energy. So that's another big way you want to increase your energy. So you want to get some sun, especially on your face, as often as you can, without overdoing it. As you know, just follow the guidelines that they put out there. And also, any other place on your body you get the sun. When you get the sun in your body, what it do, it'll boost your energy. And you can prove this all year long. You either do a supplement or you get the sun, or do both. This time of year, I back off vitamin D supplements. I take less. And what I do, I try to get every day just a few minutes of sun. Even if it's 15 minutes, half an hour, I get some sun on my arm, on my face, and I'm good, because you can produce a lot of the vitamin D right around your central part of your face. So this is a big way that you do. If you take all these things so far in consideration, energy levels go up. Also, you want to exercise and increase outdoor activity. One of the exercises that you know is most underrated is just going for a walk. Very underrated, but it's very important for you to just sometimes go for half an hour walk, 15 minutes walk. Depends on what you can do, whatever your doctor figure out. So don't go hurt yourself and blame me. But you have to do this on a daily basis. And no matter what, even if you have to walk 5 minutes, do it on a daily basis. You will be amazed. If you're only at a point where you can only walk for 5 minutes, walking for 5 minutes is going to be amazing. So do it every day if you can. Normally I suggest 3 to 5 days a week. Fresh air intake is important. That's why I sleep with a filter every night, an air filter. So that especially when I'm sleeping, I want to wake up and I want to make sure that I wasn't suffocating or something, or breathing in bad air, recycled bad air. So I always keep filters. As I tell you before, I really believe in filters. increase light in your home. So as much as you can, as I said to you, the more light you see is the better you feel. And so whether or not it's sunny outside, I make sure that the walls are all are light colors. There's light everywhere. I only buy, I think I only for my bed lamp, we have as soft white. Every single light in my house outside of that. Even the lights in my bedroom, everything, they're what they call daylight. So like in front of me here, there's three lights. I have two banks of lights. One is daylight and two is two is daylight and one is soft white. The reason I have one soft light because if it's only daylight, it will wash me out and I look white, like literally like there's whiteness on me. It is no color. There's no blood. That's what it is. You can't see blood in my face. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about, right? So when that soft white, they put my color in my skin so I don't look washed out. Don't look like I have a bright light shining on me. So that's what happens. So you need that. So I like it that the outside should feel like the inside. Because when you don't feel like that, you feel drowsy. They've shown that if you look at a picture of a park or you go walk in a park, the mental state is similar. Isn't that fascinating? Just seeing green and flowers make you feel good. So what it is, we need light and bright. This is one of the ways to increase your energy. Increase light in your home. Consume food that are optimal to convert into energy. So you want to basically consume food that are optimal to energy. If you eat a pig, if you eat pork, like bacon, that type of stuff, it could take up to 72 hours to get out of the system. If you eat, I'll just use it, say some tofu or some beans, it could take 24 hours, 36 hours to get out of the system. So which one do you think would be optimal to energy? It would be, the bacon would not be optimal to energy, the beans would be optimal to energy. It has fiber, it has protein, it has everything, it's going to come right out. Right? So what it is, you're getting the nutrients, you're breaking it down, tearing everything apart, you're bringing it into your system, and you're releasing. And the more you can do that, and the faster you can do that, then what it is, you might feel better this week if you did this all this week, but I'm going to tell you, 10 years from now, you're going to look phenomenal. Because slowly but surely what you're doing is you're knocking off days, years, months off your life. Because all these things we've covered so far, the stimulants, the coffee, the alcohol, all these things, it beat the body up. And after a while, you look beaten because you're beating up yourself every day. And it's the same thing when we consume food that suck energy from us. When it does, it beat us up and it make us look aged. So this is where you look at it, at what's going on. Because if you feel every day tired, long term, give you 10 years, you're going to look haggard. You know what I'm talking about? You see somebody look haggard and they always say, I'm tired. And they look tired. And if they keep looking tired, they're going to look like grandma and grandpa soon. So you don't want to always feel so whipped. All right? So increase healing foods with increase of exercise. So when you're exercising, you don't want to look worn. So some people can exercise a lot, but they look beaten by the exercise. And the reason why they're so beaten is because they're not repairing. So you need to repair food. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes here. So you need food that's going to repair your body, because as you're repairing, what it is you're tearing down. Remember, exercises increase blood flow, increase oxidation, and increase oxidative death, oxidative stress on the body. So you need to be able to repair all of that damage or to ward it off. And so some of what I'm going to talk about next is, I already talked about it, so I purposely going to skip. I decided to skip it because you can go to my anti-aging presentation or oxidative stress presentation. You'll find some of the information here. Is just information I'll repeat because all these seminars I have to have them as complete. And if I don't, because then somebody's not going to get what I'm talking about. Because you can see it in the skin of people who drink alcohol or drink a lot of coffee. They have a lot of oxidative stress. But you can see it in the skin of people who run and always in the sun. The sun burnt out all the collagen in their face and their skin looks thin. It don't look supple and soft, and they look aged, like they've been aged. Like, you go age meat in the sun, or you age prunes in the sun, they look like prunes. Or you age tomato, you dry out all the fluid out of it, you just make it nice and just, shriveled up. So we don't want to do that. I want to share this with you. Your brain is uniquely vulnerable to oxidative injury due to its high metabolic rate and elevated level of unsaturated lipids and a target for lipid peroxidation. Antioxidants are also being investigated as possible treatment for neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and as a way to prevent noise-induced hearing loss. And I'll read that here for continuity. During exercise, oxygen consumption can increase by a factor of more than 10. This leads to a large increase in the production of oxidants and result in damage that contributes to macular fatigue during and after exercise. So I put there avocado because this would be a good thing to use to help rebuild your body and stuff like that. Now, I must say this to you here, right? With the brain, right? You know, I can tell you, like, to normally, right now, my brain is running like crazy. Sometimes I joke and say I can feel it, but I sometimes I feel I can feel it. I know you can't feel the brain, but sometimes I feel I can feel my brain. All right, probably because I'm burning right now. So all around my head, feel like I'm overworking it. And normally when I finish on Sabbath, I'm gonna tell you, I feel exhausted. And somebody said, "But you just there talking," and I do all the talking, but somehow talking on the phone with somebody is so different from what I'm standing here doing, because right here I feel my brain is under pressure. Because my brain is under pressure because I'm thinking like 3 slides ahead sometimes. And so I time myself up with that type of thinking. So it's important for you to know that a large part of stimulants that make people feel energy is stimulants that stimulate the brain. And so we need to take care of the brain. And how we take care of the brain is eating food that are phytochemicals in there. And because I covered this some of these time, I know I need to make it a complete seminar. But I just want to move to just talking about some herbs. And I'll talk about 2 herbs before I go. So notice here, I think I'll cover this slide here. But just to show you an example of food, and I'm going to cover 2 herbs and then give you a little talk before we go about some herbs, what to do with herbs. All right, so notice here this slide in front of you on the board. And what you'll notice with the slide up on the board, you notice that when we eat certain food is going to add a lot of calories to our diet, but what it gives us back as nutrients is very low. So a good example of this would be a burger. A burger will add a lot of calories, a lot of energy. But the energy it adds, it's going to be hard for you to even work it off, burn it off. So it's adding more calories and not good calories. So if you can get similar amount of calories, but without the high fat, and also you can get a lot of antioxidants, so some polyphenols and all these different things and some good oils in your diet without having the destructiveness of, say, a burger. When I say a burger, right, a beef burger, you're going to do better, because what it is, you're going to get the calories you need, but you're going to get with more vitamins, more minerals, with antioxidant phytochemicals that you're not going to get in a burger. None of it is there. I guess if you throw a piece of lettuce on there. So you're going to get more nutrients. So you can, why we have to focus on diet, because diet will give you, if you calibrate your diet, because remember, before we come to health, food is just something you eat because you enjoy. But the more you understand health is the more you read labels, you see what the ingredient lists are, you start to think in an intelligent way about the food. You still enjoy the food, but you see food as now not just calories or energy. You see it as, it's going to be how I feel, because I need to increase the tryptophan in my brain. It's going to be how I feel energy-wise, body, muscle. It's the nutrients. You start to understand nutrients. You start to see pumpkin as being something to give you magnesium. You start to see food as you start to see another dimension to food that you normally don't see. And so when we think about food, we're thinking about energy still, but we see energy in a different way than we normally see it. We see energy as not just the calories, but also it's the way I feel. It's the amount of repair that I have. The more repair I have from the food, is the better the food is. So 300 calories is not the same as 300 calories that is filled with organic, plant-based, tree-ripened food. Same 300 calories, but 1 300 calories can come with cancer, diseases, low nutrients. Another 300 calories over here can come with high nutrients, same calories, and it's gonna make me feel better. So let's look at the board here. So notice one banana is 105 calories. None of the protein it has 1.2 gram, 5% of protein, right? So not a lot of protein for one banana, but you get still 500 calories, 100 calories. So if you eat 2 bananas, you get 200 calories. You have 10% of your need for the day if you're a female, and probably about not 10%, but probably 8% for male, right? So this is how you have to think about food. See, now we're thinking more intelligent about food. Let's just go down the list here. Brown rice will give you, notice here, you still get protein, because people say, as vegan, where do you get your protein from? If you tell them brown rice, they probably fall off their chair, right? So you still get protein there. A person, you're getting protein, about 9% of it is in protein. And this is taking protein per gram is 4 point something grams. So you're still getting some protein. Most people don't understand protein is a thing that isn't just about everything here. It's just something give you more. So look at this there, but you get 200 and something calories. So you're getting over 10% and somewhere near there for male, female. What you need for the day. Just having a gram, having what we'll call 1 cup, right? So I'm sure some of you ate 1 cup of rice, brown rice today. Corn in the cob, you see the numbers there. Baked potato, 120. A cup of regular pasta, 216 calories. 6-ounce yogurt, fruit yogurt, 190. I'm gonna just go straight down to this thing here. Oh yeah, 2 slices of whole wheat bread is gonna give you about 4 point something grams of protein, 16%, and it is 16% of your protein, and it is 120 calories. Now notice here, one Burger King cheeseburger is gonna give you 18 grams, and it is 21% of your protein. So you see the numbers there, it's not blowing you out of the water, numbers. You know, when somebody say to you, you must eat this, that comes with all the problems that comes in the health, all the cholesterol, all these things. And you notice there that it's not blow you out of the water protein. It seems like it, but it's not. So somebody could think that a person is vegan. If they eat 4,000 calories a day, they can't get obese. You can't. Because there's things that has more protein. We're going down the list, and we notice here, but notice the Burger King burger there, out of everything on the list, is going to give you the most calories. So you're getting decent 21% protein, but you see things on the list here give you more protein, right? But you're sacrificing 350 calories. You're sacrificing antioxidants. Because somebody say you have iceberg lettuce. So it's going to be work to digest it. So it's going to be harder to digest, and you're not getting as much protein as most people think. So this is where we start getting intelligent. And this is where we start to understand how food breaks down into its basic components, and that's what's going to make and give our body the nutrients we need. So keep going on this. Meatloaf will give you more protein, and it will give you less. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go eat meatloaf, but I'm just saying, it gives you less calories, 230. So at that point now, here's where everything changes. And you're going to see now, you already see it because I'm sure you're reading this up ahead of me. So 1 cup of frozen peas will give you about 30%. So frozen peas, you look at it, you're like, hey, what's the big deal? But you only get 120 calories. So that means even you eat, think about it now, you eat 3 cups. Nobody does this, I know, but I'm saying. If you eat 3 cups of frozen peas, you get, if you can eat that much, I don't know if nobody can eat this much, you could get almost 100%, 90% of your protein. And you would only get the same amount of calories as the burger. So why am I saying that to you? Because I'm trying to show you, you get all the nutrients, the antioxidants, all the blessings that are in the green peas. And you get it at less calories, so you're less likely to put on weight. You're going to get more fiber than you're going to get in the Burger King burger. I'm not knocking Burger King, but any of these burgers will do about the same calculation. But you're getting now, you're getting all the antioxidant, you get no constipation, you get no risk of increasing cancer. So you're reducing your cancer exposure and risk in your body by tenfold, 10 times decrease. Simply by taking this without calories. And your body's gonna get more out of it with less work. You see that? So automatically this is gonna give you, before I get to any of the herbs, this is gonna give you more energy so you can keep going through the day because it's not going to shut you down. Because if you triple it, you're getting so much protein. 3 cups of it going to give you so much more protein, but you get almost no calories. You're not going to get stuck constipated and get all these phytonutrients. Let's keep going here. 1 cup of lentils cooked, right? Which is easy. If you eat roti, if you eat certain rice, some brown rice with some curry, lentils with some coconut milk. This 1 cup is easy eat, right? This is reasonable. I know some of you out there will do 2 cups. I can do 2, probably 1.5. Easy eat, right? It's what I said, cook down with some some curry lentils with some coconut milk. Easy. Just you could wipe a plate with a roti, right, Sister Heather, with a roti. So 1 cup of lentils cooked is 175 calories, 36%. You see that? 36% of the protein you need. But you get only 175 calories. So we're now start to we're going to get close to the next thing where we're going to double the amount of protein. And we're saying now 1 cup of tofu, easy eat. Easy eat. Even children could blow through 1 cup of tofu. 8 ounces of tofu. That's half a pack of tofu, half a 16-ounce pack of tofu. Easy eat for many people. You could probably eat a whole pack of tofu if they don't hold you back, right? And you bake some tofu, and I've described it before, and you get 44. So you double 1 cup of tofu is giving you double the amount of protein. Because you say, where you get your protein from? I'm going to tell somebody that then be careful you're not eating too much protein. Because if you do a whole pack of, a pack or so forth, you could just blow up the amount of protein you eat. Too much. And you get only 165 calories. So not a lot of calories. There's going to be more because you're going to, I'm sure you're going to saute it or bake it with some oil, and it's going to jump up the protein. But the amount of calories. But you're going to start getting calories from fat. But what I'm saying here, if you notice here now, you're getting less than half the calories. So now for your body to break that apart or whatever, you're going to have less work on your body. And you're pulling less energy, but you're getting more. So if you can pull less energy and you can get more, you're ahead of the game. And as long as you don't overeat per meal, if you, as I say, if you can stack in, if you're a female, you can do probably 1,000 in the morning. You probably can do 700 midday and do probably 300 in the evening. Your energy level is going to go up. That's just what's going to happen. And if you're a male, you probably can do probably 1,200, then probably another 1,000, then probably 300, very light in the evening. What it is, your energy level is just going to go up. Because what it is, you're not overworked. You're not feeling sluggish when you eat. And the moment you feel like that, you start hitting the equilibrium. The moment you start hitting that equilibrium, start going good. And real quickly to round this off, and just I'll give you some examples on herbs. It's a cup of frozen broccoli. Broccoli, a star. Broccoli is one of the big things studied for anti-cancer. It's great because broccoli, especially you can get some nice organic broccoli. That's the only way you should eat it anyhow. 1 cup of frozen broccoli is going to give you easily 45% of your protein, high protein. Remember, nothing that has need a lot of protein and a lot of energy eats meat. A gorilla, an ox, all these different things that have this big muscle. People say, where you get your muscle from? Where the cow get its muscle from? Where the horse get its muscle from? Is eating, I'm not eating broccoli, but it's eating greens. So, a panda bear, what are they eating? They're eating bamboos. Don't eat bamboos unless it's a bamboo shoot. So notice here, 1 cup of frozen broccoli is going to give, this is mind-boggling numbers here. 52 calories. You get almost no calories. You know, you just eat broccoli until it's coming out your ears, and God will bless you. But you're gonna get a high amount of protein, right? And you're gonna start feeling like you're a gorilla or a chimpanzee. Praise the Lord. 1 cup of cooked spinach, the star of the show here to me still, because it gives you a whopping easy. You can 2 patties that with stuffed with spinach could give you a whopping 51% of your protein. Whopping. And I think the only thing that beats out probably spinach would be spirulina, something I don't really enjoy. So I don't put it on the board. So anyhow, but it's spirulina will blow everything out the water. It's just massive amount. It's protein almost. It's like you eat it. If you can stomach that, I can't stomach it. So anyhow, that's a side note. So notice here, 42 calories. Is like you didn't eat. So if you eat a spinach patty, if you eat some spinach, normally I love spinach with kale, the best. Today I had some spinach for lunch, but it was fresh, not cooked. All right. So when it's cooked, it's more, you know when you start cooking something, it crumbles down more. But I love spinach with like some sour cream or some type of sour cream and stuff like that. Just love it to eat with some like pasta on the side or stuff like that. Excellent. But you take a cup of that and you get almost no calorie. I'm not saying you get nothing, but you get a very low calorie. You get a lot of protein because it's going to be cooked down, so you lose this. You ever cook spinach, just disappear in the pot. But what you get in there, you get the max, you increase the energy because what you're going to get from that spinach is all the antioxidant, all the nutrients in the spinach, all the protein in the spinach, all the phytochemical in spinach for no almost work on your body. Your body has to do very little, and you don't have to expose yourself to all the chemicals and the hormones and all the madness that come with it. And that's one of the major ways. How I'm showing you practically here how you increase your energy. But you will not do this. Let me say this before I go to my last 2 slides here. You will not do this, I'm going to tell you, if you don't believe it. Because it's not impossible to believe that spirulina has more. I don't partake of it, but because I like the taste. But spirulina has more protein than probably anything else on the planet. It's hard to believe that you could eat green leafy vegetables and it has so much nutrients that it'll blow anybody out there and say, "Hey, where you get your protein from?" But if you can eat it in volume, which I can eat this type of stuff in volume over the years, I've learned to. You can get so much nutrients and so little work on your body that you only will do it if you believe. Because the mind will tell you, this is where we came from, at least where I came from mentally. Whereas I believe that you eat what looks like you. You look like flesh, you eat flesh. But when you start understanding these things, you realize, oh, but the real flesh in this world, like a cow, a goat, and that type of stuff, they eat vegetables. They start to have a recalibration. And the moment you start to recalibrate, you say, where does the fish get its omega fatty acid? Or from seaweed, and you start eating the seaweed, you start to see life different, you start to feel different. And you start to say, this is amazing. You start to look different, you start to look younger, you start to have more energy. Because where are you getting that energy from? Oh, I'm getting it from the food. So in their mind, they get the energy from the cow or the goat or the chicken. I'm going to tell you what they're getting from that. They're probably getting out the hormones. And if they stop eating it, they feel their energy level drop. But a lot of time people don't know what to eat. So they don't understand you still have to have all the major food groups in your diet and have to eat a mixture of food, a very seasonal diet and a diet that has various different things. And you have to keep your nutrients level up. But one of the ways to do it is to eat what the gorillas eat and the chimpanzee eats and the ox eat and stuff like that. And when you start to eat it, instead of let them eat it and then you eat their flesh, you eat the thing directly, you'll be amazed that what we have on the board here is rock solid. You'll get more protein because remember, soybean has more protein than beef per pound. And tofu blows it out of the water per pound. So the protein is there. It's sometimes the issue is you're going to eat too much, and then if you eat too much protein, you have to drink a lot of water to flush out your kidney. But that's another story. So remember, dear, what you want to do is get optimal. You want to be able to make your food be an intelligent experience. You're still going to enjoy the food because we love cooking. And we love cooking food that tastes great. And I believe the food that I eat now tastes better than the food I used to eat because I experiment with seasonings and herbs that I never ever heard about in my life. I'm buying stuff from all over, from the Middle East, from different places, because I'm like, wow, this thing is great. And I cook with it. It's amazing. Thai food, Indian food, all this food. There's so much flavors. So what it is, you make it optimal where what you want to do is eat the foods that's going to give you the most nutrients and the least calories. You're never going to go hungry. And what it is, you'll be amazed at how it changed. But if you don't believe this, you're going to be like, no, I'm not doing that because I can't see that working. But I'm going to tell you the numbers are real. Those numbers are rock solid. You get more and get better quality. Almost there. So, we want to boost those things. I'll put this up on the board here. You want to increase those type of things in your diet. But I'm going to go to the last two slides. So somebody say, well, is that the only things you do to maintain your energy level? No, this is not the only things I do, right? I take a lot of herbs. As you know, I take a lot of herbs, right? And I make sure that my nutrients are rock solid. So these are a part of it, right? Right now, but no, nobody's doing blood work. I think everybody's afraid to go get themselves pricked and go to the doctor. But when you can do a blood work and whatever nutrients you find that you're deficient in, build up that nutrients in your body. Eat the food that has the nutrients. And this will help increase your energy level. Another way I do here is I do herbs. Certain herbs, I already did mental health. So watch the mental health video, because the mental health video I cover herbs like ginkgo biloba, ashwagandha, some of these herbs, because they're good for the mind, because part of energy is alertness. If you're alert, you're awake, you feel energized, you feel pumped, great. If you low in tryptophan, you're going to low in serotonin, you're not going to do good. So you want to do the food that's going to do that. So watch that video on mind or brain health. That's part of it. The other part of it, though, is herbs that's going to make you take stress and keep going, right? So there's two other components to what they call energy. That is how you deal with stress. Because when the body's under stress, you have certain nutrients, certain things in your body that they call your adrenal, your pituitary glands, your hypothalamus, your thyroid. These glands need to be fed, and there's certain herbs that feed them. These herbs are called adaptogens. These herbs will help you adapt and make your adrenal pump off and go wild when it needs to, and then it will calm you down so you don't feel depleted. So two of the examples here I bring you is two herbs that are classified as, I would say, they're adaptogen, but they're also classified as in one way or the other. I just call them adaptogen herbs. These are herbs I take on a daily basis, right? So I take two sets of things that affect my energy, or three sets. I take something for my mental alertness and awareness. Those are the ones like ginkgo and stuff like that. Then I take these herbs that are adaptogen. I take them on a daily basis. These herbs are for those glands I just mentioned, hypothalamus, pituitary, and stuff like that, to make sure my fight or flight glands, or my glands that make me sleep and go to wake. And then the other set of herbs, which we're not talking about here today, but I mentioned, is herbs for my hormone, to get my hormone level high, because if your hormone level is down, you could feel depressed. That's a different seminar in itself. So here we are, two herbs. Eleuthero herbs, which is viewed as like a ginseng. So all the herbs I take 5 or 6 different ginseng from around the planet. I mentioned this before. I take the American ginseng, the Korean ginseng, the Russian ginseng, the Chinese ginseng, the Indian ginseng, all the ginseng from around the world. And I take another one also. So you get the point, right? Take 2 Chinese ginseng. So this here is Eleutherococcus. It's an adaptogen that strengthens the immune system, relieve angina symptoms, lower LDL cholesterol. That's the cholesterol, the proteins that are holding these fats that easily oxidize and cause damage in your system. And triglyceride level. It supports cancer patients undergoing cancer treatment. So I have to get this to somebody this week. While partaking in excessive training, Eleuthero has been shown to increase endurance, stamina, enhance mitochondrial activity, speed recovery, and prevent immune depletion. So this is something that you want to be partaking of on a regular basis. I partake of this on a regular basis, daily basis. I almost never skip this herb. This is just part of it. It can be taken long term so it will help your energy level without you needing stimulants. So like I'll give you an example. This can work under severe pressure. As I say, if you need to stay up 24 hours, 48 hours, this is the type of stuff that you want to take. You just have to take a lot of it. And so if I'm driving, I'll give you an example of how powerful these herbs are. So these herbs I'll use as an example. So if I'm going to Florida, and I can be heading from here, I'm in North Jersey, so I'm in almost the tip of North Jersey, almost. It's a few miles away. And if I need to drive from here to Florida, I only stop to get gas and to urinate. And I'll drive there, and I could probably make it somewhere down in Florida, less than 24 hours. I just won't tell you how quick I can make it there. But I don't stop unless for gas. So I fill up the night before, then I take off, and I go straight and don't stop. And I drive all the way through. No, only stop to get gas. And at time, I stop to get gas, so I only have to stop minimum until I hit North Florida, and then I'll go straight all the way to South Florida, to south of Miami. All right? So just give you an idea. And this thing will keep me out. It don't matter what I was doing the day before or how tired I was. But I just keep taking them as I go along. Every few hours, I take about 4 capsules or so. And it will just keep you alert, awake, and I won't be nodding off and feel like, oh man, I'm falling asleep. And the same thing when I'm coming back, I do the same thing. A straight drive from South Florida all the way until I reach New Jersey. And I'll wake up in the morning and I'll drive until the next morning. No problem. I just don't tell you when I get. I can tell you I leave and I get there. And I'll only stop to get gas and to urinate. Nothing else. I won't have to be out, and I take some bars with me. So again, I'm talking about maximum nutrients with limited work. So I'll take like some bars that will have, I take a bar like the Laura bars, they're a mixture of dates, cashews, and I'll eat those. I almost will not eat anything else. I'll probably drink some coconut water or something. That's it. And I just go straight, and I go there the next day, I'm fresh. I'm all right. I'll probably get some sleep the night before, then the night or in the day, and then I'm good for the rest of the time. So it's important to note, these things really work. Now, it's not going to work in 2 capsules. Unless you're just taking it as a supplement. Like probably today I just take 4 capsules because I'm good. I got some sleep last night. I probably went to bed after 1:30 or something like that. And I woke up and I'm going all day. Didn't take no nap. As a matter of fact, happy Sabbath if you're watching Brother Greg, and to those online, got a visitor. So it's good. So notice here, herbal remedies. Rhodiola. Rhodiola is another example here. Rhodiola is used as part of various clinical protocols to treat various ailments, including diabetes, depression, altitude sickness. So this is another herb that I really believe in. Rhodiola is good for the similar thing, right? It's work for ADHD, cancer, Alzheimer's, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and people with head trauma. So, sometimes when you tell somebody to take some stuff, they don't understand. You need to take this stuff because these things can be taken long term. You need to be taking it until it's in your system, and then after a while, you don't have to take as much. You take it as a supplement, 2-4 capsules a day, you're good. If you're under pressure, take more. You're not under pressure, you back off of it. If you feel like you don't need to, you stop taking. That's the beautiful thing about these herbs. They're not habit forming. You just take them when you need them. If you feel the pressure, you take them. If you don't need it, you don't take it. I can't take most of I only take these herbs morning and midday. I never take them at night. If I take them at night, I can't sleep. And so I don't want to not sleep because they'll make you feel alert. If you're too alert, you're just laying there in the dark and I start preaching sermons or I start praying. So rhodiola also can act to prevent or treat immune depletion caused by overwork, excessive physical training, chemotherapy, or radiation therapy. And that's important. So rhodiola is something, again, big herb in my solar system, if you want to call it, my planetary system in my mind. Very important. So you take this type of stuff, and what it is that if you go hard, like if I go hard and I feel like my immune system is dropping and I feel like, man, something could be coming on. Somebody said, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to do certain things, but these are some of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to try to increase nutrients to my hypothalamus, my pituitary, my adrenal glands. I'm going to try to make sure my thyroid is being fed, all of that type of stuff. I'm feeding myself these nutrients, and what it is going to increase my endurance, my alertness. Now, remember I said to you, it's not going to do for you because you have to sleep. Because part of taking in nutrients, you have to have the ingestion. This is not, you have to have ingestion, you have to have digestion. So this is not going to replace sleep and stuff like that. But what it is, it will get you going to a certain point. This is health. This is not abuse of your body. But if you're under pressure, you up this. So you have a debt in the family, you up certain things. Say you have pressure at work, you up certain things. When the pressure goes on, you down it. This is no habit forming thing here. But these things really work. Again, you could take 2 capsules a day. It might not do anything for you short term, but long term it will. But if you do a certain amount, you'll get the results. You'll be amazed of what it can do slowly but surely. But what it is that many people don't have the discipline to stick in there long enough to see the result. They want the result now because they expect it to do like drugs. The difference is drug give you the hit and then you develop tolerance and then long term it becomes weak. These type of things, it don't give you the hit at first. You'll feel something, but you take it over the course of weeks and months. Then you start to really build up in your body and then start to fix some things in your body and make your body work on a normal basis. So when you need the energy, you go up. But then you must come back down to get back to normal baseline. And when you do that, it's better. And then long term, you'll find that you'll do better. I can tell you, you can be at any age and improve your health. But you have to be in a different mindset. You have to believe that this works because you see it on paper. But the world won't tell you it works because the world is into its garbage food. And then you have to start practicing it. And when you get the results, you'll be amazed at how you feel. You have an immersive experience. You're getting like the ecstasy experience. You're going to start to feel it. You're going to start to hear it. You're going to start to see it. You're going to start to feel the touch. You're going to feel your hands feeling better. Your nerves feeling better. Everything start feeling better, but slowly, weekly, monthly. And I wish I could convince everybody here. This stuff works. You just have to stick in there. If you're looking for burgers and fries and all that garbage, this is not it. But if you're looking for something that's going to work, that is intellectual and spiritual, because you believe it's from God, and this will do for you what nothing else will do, this will outdo ecstasy and coke and all that stuff. It just takes a while. You get up every day, and you're not going to probably bounce off the wall, but you're just going to feel a heightened experience. That's better, but it takes a while. And that's the hardest thing, I think, is for people to understand. You're looking for big hits. Forget about the big hits. The big hits is not what we do. What we do is small incremental increases that will fix things slowly over time. And what you do, get better, and you get better even while you're aging. What's better than that? Everything else here that we're fighting against is you feel better now, but you age and beaten up, and long term it kill you even. We don't want that. We want something that we close on this text. John chapter 3, 3 John chapter 1, verse 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou may prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. I want you to have a better home life. I want you to have a better marriage. I want you to feel better about life. I want you to be looking at all the madness going on out there. And you just watching it. I just want you to watch it. I don't want you to be part of it. I want you to watch it. I want you to see what's happening and see that there's a reward for the righteous. See that there's a better life for the righteous. See that there's a comparison. You see people who are all into that stuff and they're there making noise and killing people, and you're having a different experience. And that's what we're here for. That's what Covenant Advent is there for. That's why we're here for, to prepare you for life and eternity. That's why you support what we're doing here, because we're supporting you, what you're doing there. And I want you to have a better experience, better Sabbath, better home life, better work life, better mental state, better physical state, better spiritual state. Is there any questions, Sister Tamar?
The first question is coming from YouTube. Earlier you were talking about sleep and that if one is tired, one should not take naps during the day, that you should sleep at night. So Brother Ernesto would like to know, does that mean power naps are bad?
I'm not going to say that bad. It's sometimes hard to speak about. Is it bad? I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I don't know, right? I find it's better.
Or I guess the question is, should we stay away from taking power naps during the day?
Yeah,
or is there any use to taking a power nap?
I don't know. I would have to ask somebody to take them. I find the only time power nap is necessary is if you're exhausted. But I find The day is made to be awake, and night is made to sleep. It's better to get 8 hours sleep, 7 hours sleep, even 9 hours sleep, than to do, because if you're busy, unless you're like, it's like, I don't know, why would somebody take out like a power nap? It's like, are they bored, or like, I don't know. That's, I'm gonna have to pray about that. I'm gonna have to think about that question, because I think it's best to just keep going all day, and then get to just a solid sleep. Because sometimes you sleep in the day, it affects how you can sleep at night. That's what's the point I was making. That's why I say I'm not sure about the question. The point I was making is that, because remember, some people, they have depression, and they'll sleep in the day, and then at night they can't sleep, so they have insomnia also. So for me, part of the energy is that you go all day and you reach at night and you go to sleep. Then you go to sleep, you get a full night's sleep, you get into REM sleep, because it's how sleep work. Power nap will refresh you if you're exhausted. So that's why I say I don't want to say it's bad, but if you need it. But normally, you know, like today, right now, you want to be up because it's sunny. I don't want to be sleeping when it's sunny, and then, unless I'm exhausted. So I'm not gonna say it's not. I don't think it's bad. I just think if it's needed. Like, I would never tell you not to snack per se, but the principle is don't snack. But if you're hungry about a faint, yeah, go snack. But if you're tired and you just have to sleep, go take a nap. But it's better if you get, 7 to 9 hours sleep, then go all day and then get another sleep, because you can get into deep REM sleep. You can get a dream. Your brain can be fully configured, because there's more at stake than just taking a nap. And then you start the next day and then you get that blessing. So I'm not sure if it's a bad thing, because everything can be useful, but siesta and all that type of stuff, I think, if you're going hard all day at work, how do you restart after a power nap? Because sometimes after a power nap or a nap, sometimes you feel like you have to, like you lose 2-3 hours. It just like throw off the day to me. So I'm not sure. Any follow-up question to
For
that?
context, Brother Morgan notes that as a truck driver, he starts at 4 a.m. and needs a 15-minute nap to function.
Yeah, well, you're driving a truck. We wouldn't want you to go run off the road and kill people. So take your power nap. So I'm saying it depends on the setup. You start at 4 o'clock in the morning. Most people are dreaming at that time. So I'm not sure. That's why I say the context is always difficult. It depends on the context. You know what I'm saying? So some things are, the context makes sense. So that's why it's hard to say. I can't say it's bad. All right? I'm just saying, if you can get that, but if you're dealing with a situation where you could nap in this truck while driving, I'll take half an hour at that point.
I have another question from YouTube. Brother Green would like to know, what about using spinach in a smoothie? What are your thoughts on using spinach in smoothies?
I think it's fine. Only thing I'm always worried about with these, if you know that it's not grown, if it's organic, it's not grown near manure. So it depends on where you're getting it from. The only reason why I prefer sometimes to cook it, because there's always been so much outbreaks where where spinach or kale or stuff was grown in manure soil, and then they had bacteria in them, and then there was multiple outbreaks over the years. So that's the only reason I don't use it, unless I know the source raw or in a smoothie. I prefer to cook it just as a secondary backup, but it's so much outbreaks. So if you knew you can get the spinach or kale or something fresh, no problem for me. I'll use it. If I can get it that I know there's no manure, there's no feces was in the soil, then I'm fine with that. But if there's manure and I can't certify there's manure, so it's organic but it was grown with soil with manure, I'm always worried about it. That's the only reason you never hear me promote green smoothie. Now, I don't believe in it, but like, I know Brother Green has his garden, and some of you have your garden. So if you know you're growing kale, spinach, and it's fresh, and you don't use manure, then yeah, absolutely, it will give you, it will take you less nutrients or less calories expended or used up to get the nutrients out of this thing, but yet you get so much from it. So absolutely, great idea for it, just with that one caveat. Excellent. Because then you could stuff in more, pulverize it, get it fresh, it's not cooked, so then you don't damage the more delicate nutrients. So you get even more phytochemicals, because when you cook anything, you lose some of the nutrients because some of the delicate nutrients is killed in the heat. So it's a trade-off. But if you can get it raw, it's even better. And then you can pulverize it and then drink it, and you can use less fluid, because you make it become some of the fluid. So instead of you taking in, if I go back to my chart here, and that's what I'm talking about, the intelligence with this type of stuff is amazing. I just love this stuff because I do it and I get the results. So, like, I go back to that pepper. I remember I'm explaining this quite a few years back to somebody. And then I continue with the answer to Brother Green. I'm explaining this stuff to somebody, and they told me now they start to consume high amounts of peppers, and you could see it on their skin. Their skin looks so beautiful. And this is somebody I know, so I know how their skin looked before. And I never used peppers like that. Now I use peppers more frequently when I can get it. But they start to even juice the peppers, which is weird because it gives you a funny taste. Peppers seem to be something that should be savory, right? Although you could look at it as a fruit. And as a side note, his skin started to have this glow to it. That was amazing. I was like, man, I need to include more peppers. So sometimes you're talking to somebody and they're seeing something that you're not even thinking about. And they try it and it worked for them, and I'm like, man, I like that. That's give almost like some we call it like some foundation on your skin. His skin like he was having like some foundation makeup put on his skin. So that's beautiful. So that's what you want, right? So you eat the stuff and somebody thinks, you're doing something? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing something. I'm doing peppers. So here we go, right? So if you look at it, it's a cook, right? So normally cook, you break down the size, so it disappears. But you could blend it and use some of it as your fluid, as you know, Brother Green, that you do that. And then what it is now, you have less volume, but now you have more nutrients. So that same, say, 24 ounce or 18 ounce or 16 ounce, now that could be the equivalent of probably 2 cups. So in one whop, you're taking in probably your whole days of protein. So when you get your protein, you'll be like, no, I'm blowing you all out of the water. And I get almost no calories. And then within a few hours, you're hungry again. So you can move this thing in a way that is remarkable. And then know what it is after a while, you start seeing it on your skin. Your skin starts to look like, wow, man, that skin looks healthy. So yeah. Next question, please. If there's another question.
This question is coming from the church website. Clax would like to know, can rhodiola be used daily and long-term to treat diabetes?
Rhodiola is a long-term use in herbs, right? So rhodiola, I normally just do, anything I'm going to take like this, I'm going to take it that is a herb that is used long-term. Now rhodiola, it balances out the system. So it would not be, I can tell, let's say it this way, it's not an herb that I particularly say is primary target in my mind is diabetes. But it is balance, anything that's balanced with the system will help also with diabetes. So it's used various different places for diabetes and also for depression, because again, what it does, it makes you have less, it balances out your stress level. And other things like that. So, but this is something I particularly use it for my energy level, not to get me up, but to keep me balanced. And that's what it is. So I'm always alert. I'm always aware, kind of out of what ecstasy does without the euphoria and the psychosis. So yeah, this is something that I cannot say that I've tested it for that. I tested it for energy. And it is remarkable to balance you out. So I think that's where it would help with like anything that is an imbalance in the system. So that's like, you notice the emphasis is on physical training, chemotherapy, anything that stresses the system out and causes a lot of oxidative damage. Something like rhodiola will work well. Yes, very much so. And remember, when you're doing diabetes, one of the most damaging disease to the circulatory system and the peripheral system, the peripheries.
The next question is coming from the website, or the church YouTube site rather. Brother Thompson posted that he has cramps in his feet that cause weakness. I'm sorry. I have cramps in my feet. What causes that?
And normally it's magnesium deficiency. So ask him if he's on a magnesium supplement. Taking things like pumpkin seed. Is he doing anything like that? If it's not that, then we'd go next. But first you'd have to answer, or let me talk to you. You'd have to say, do you take magnesium, or you get a blood work to see what your magnesium level? Normally cramps in the feet, Charlie horse, anything like that is low magnesium level. For some reason, probably your digestion is not pulling enough magnesium or something along the sort. So if you're cramping up in your feet because you're tired, because you exercise, you'd want to magnesium, you want to get more electrolyte in your system. You'll probably want to use more sea salt, anything that would put nutrients, anything keep your system hydrated. So anything that would put not nutrients but minerals in your system. So you'll stop using table salt, only use sea salt to cook with, because sea salt will pull nutrients in, including magnesium. And sea salt has magnesium in it, and then you want to take a magnesium supplement until you balance out. What's his answer?
No answer just yet.
Okay. So, I guess wherever you are at in the world, just give me back an answer for that. But normally that's your fastest way. So you just go to the wherever you can, health food stores, pharmacists, wherever you live, and get some magnesium, take it. And the magnesium I always suggest for cramping is magnesium malate. So M-A-L-A-T-E, magnesium malate. You take it. If the cramps stop, then that's your problem. If it don't, you got to keep figuring out what's going on in your body. But that's the fastest way over the counter, so that you don't need a prescription. You take it for about 2 weeks. If it doesn't stop, then you have a different problem, probably a more difficult problem. But always for cramps, magnesium. And if you can get malate. Don't get citrate. Citrate could cause, magnesium citrate could cause you to have diarrhea. And so you don't want to have diarrhea. You want to have it. And if you start taking the magnesium, you might find that also your energy levels will go up. Magnesium deficiency could affect your energy level. Probably that's something in the future I'll put on the board to make sure you know some supplements. So other than vitamin D deficiency, magnesium would be the next big deficiency, and could be other micronutrients. But the other way to do it is to partake of sea salt. And if you go to the beach, drink some of the seawater. Drink a cup or two of it. It won't kill you. It will actually, the body fluid inside your body is actually identical to sea water. So, but the only reason why people have a problem, they start drinking it too late when they become dehydrated, when they're stranded. But if they sip on it, it won't go dehydrated. The body, when you cry sea salt. So anyhow, get some sea salt and start cooking it. Don't cook with table salt. Table salt is not good for nutrients. Did he answer yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, he's thinking about it.
But just in follow-up, did you mean to drink an actual cup of seawater?
Yeah, I believe it worked. Yeah.
Would you qualify that by saying it depends on what type of sea or ocean you have bordering?
Yeah. I'm assuming that says you can drink, you can swim in it. If the water look brown, don't swim in it. So I'm just assuming it's clean seawater. But I'm just saying, I even buy supplements, sea salt supplement. I sometimes take sea salt supplement. So basically because you have all the micronutrients, and I use sea salt. I buy sea salt from Scotland. So if you can buy from Scotland, most of the sea salt, or Spain, one of those places, I think it's decent to drink some. The last time I was in Jamaica with the Greens, right? So me and Tamar and the Greens were in Jamaica. And at that point, I didn't think I told anybody. But I went to the water once or twice, and I just drink some of the water. I didn't tell anybody that I was drinking the water, but I believe it, so I just took a few mouthfuls of the water because I thought I was in Jamaica, clean water. I'm gonna get some supplements. I think it was in Negril when I did it. I think it was far enough from all pollutant. So drink some water because I buy the supplement anyhow, but I think they filtered some of the toxins. Who knows? The body, the literally inside of our body with all the minerals and makeup, we literally, it's like seawater. When we cry, if you taste it, I'm sure you cried enough because somebody broke your heart. And when you taste the water, you know, the tears, it tastes like you're crying seawater. Our body needs a lot of micronutrients. That's what seawater is, basically, a lot of micronutrients. You go to the river, drink some spring water. So if you don't do distilled water, drink spring water. Spring water has certain nutrients in it. And the body needs these salts, so to speak. That's what salt is. We need it inside our bodies. The only thing that is supplement that is not from the plant is salt. And salt, why salt is so good? Because you have all these nutrients in it. Micronutrients. That you need a little bit of it, but the little bit without it, you can start feeling things like cramps and stuff like that. So anyhow, if just in case you're still there, magnesium malate, just go there, find it. If you can't find it at the local, wherever you're at locally, just go online. You can buy it online. It should stop the cramps. If it doesn't, then there's something else going on. But most of the time, 97% of the time, probably will stop the cramps.
And that appears to be all the questions we have for today.
So God bless again. Next Sabbath, we're going to be doing digestion. So for the most part, most of what we're going to be doing next Sabbath is going to be fresh because we're going to talk about how to optimize your digestion. If you optimize your digestion, this will optimize your energy levels also, but it'll just optimize a lot of the problems that we're dealing with over the last 2 months. As I say, so our lineup for the next, I think, 2 Sabbaths as we close this quarter out is going to be digestion and then cancer. So we're going to end with a big bang there on cancer. So we're going to talk about how to deal with cancer naturally. And even as we speak, I have to be dealing with somebody this week for cancer. So God bless you. Sister Tamara sing our closing hymn. And then looking forward for you to see you next Sabbath again. I really appreciate you being with us at Covenant Advent Church. I almost say Revival Reform Radio. But at Covenant Advent Church, next Sabbath we're doing Sabbath School. Then we're doing midday service where we're going to be talking about cleansing or whatever on my topic list, I have a list. And then in the evening, we're talking about digestion. God bless. Hope you have a blessed week this week and blessed rest of the Sabbath.
Thank you, Pastor. Our closing hymn will be coming from hymn number 286. Hymn number 286, Wonderful Words of Life. Hymn number 286. Sing them over again to me, wonderful words of life. Let me more of their beauty see, wonderful words of life. Words of life and beauty, teach me faith and duty. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Christ the Blessed One gives to all wonderful words of life. Sinnerless to the loving call, wonderful words of life. All so freely given, wooing us to heaven. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words. Please bow your heads for the closing prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for the presentation we just heard. Thank you, Lord, for giving us the knowledge and wisdom that we need to take better care of the temples that you've given to us, that not only may we benefit, Lord, but that we may be of good service to thee because we are using or we are preserving the resource that you've given to us and strengthening it so that we can use it in service to thee. I ask, Lord, that you might help us to commit these things to our minds, that not only that we may benefit, but that we may share this information with others so that they may also benefit from the blessings of health. I pray that you will be with us through the remaining moments of this Sabbath and that you will keep us during these hours. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you once again for spending the Sabbath with us. Thank you for your fellowship, for your comments, for your kind words, for your encouragement and your support. I pray that the Lord will be with you through this upcoming week and that you will prosper in mind, body, and spirit. Amen and good night.